Now, let's talk about the problem caused by the lack of grammatical syntactic equivalence. To learn a language is more than to learn the vocabulary of that language merely. A high proficiency of English vocabulary does not necessarily lead to an advanced ability to construct the English words into meaningful sentences. Also, mother tongue interference with a sentence structure can be very strong. So, the lack of grammatical syntactical equivalence can be another translation problem. This simply means that languages do not necessarily have the same grammar and syntax. For example, in Chinese, we can say, 今天我们学校来了一位新校长. But in English, the sentence, Today, our school came a new president, is grammatically and syntactically wrong. Grammatical and syntactical mistakes are also frequently seen in the translation of passive sentence patterns. Take this sentence as an example. The peace was restored. Can we translate it as 安静被恢复了? The passive expression certainly is not accepted in Chinese. In the same vein, the Chinese sentence 衣服洗了 cannot be directly translated as the clothes have washed. From the above, we know that syntactic patterns are not always equivalent in Chinese and English. Translation is supposed to conform to how the target language expresses itself. In addition, we often need to understand a language's grammar and syntax to understand the meaning of words. For example, words in English can be nouns or verbs or adjectives, depending on their position in a sentence. In English, people can say, plan a table, and table a plan, or book a place, and place a book, or lift a thumb, and thumb a lift. In this part, we'll talk about the problem in experiential equivalence. First, I'll share my own experience with you. 10 years ago, a university professor from America came to visit our college. When he was introduced to official leaders of different ranks in our college, such as 科长, 处长, I, as an interpreter, could not find the corresponding words in English, for there is no such a title in their administration system. If an object or experience does not exist in your culture, it is difficult to translate words referring to the object or experience into that language when no words may exist for them. Examples of this kind are in a long list. In 2015, Vice Chairman of the National People's Congress Foreign Affairs Committee Fu Ying once remarked at a press conference, 要学习在世界的中央舞台长袖善舞肯定是需要时间的。In Chinese culture, 长袖 literally means long sleeves of Asian or classical costumes worn by artists or dancers in dancing performances. 长袖善舞 can be explained as perform skillfully and gracefully. But in the culture of English-speaking countries, there's no such an object. So, to make English speakers understand this figure of speech, this sentence was translated as, It will take time for us to master the steps necessary to waltz gracefully across the global stage. What do you think of this translation? Please leave your comments in the discussion board. There are many things or objects that are exclusive to Chinese culture, such as 炕、太极、衙门、四合院、漕运、水墨画、粽子、状元、唐庄, etc. On the other hand, there are objects or experiences that exclusively exist in English culture which may make no sense to Chinese people. For example, motel, parliament, monarchy, clone, copy, mini, t-shirt, coffee, pudding, etc. When translating these terms, we can use literal translation or transliteration and simultaneously attach the adequate explanation to it in order to achieve clarity and accuracy. It is worth mentioning that when a cultural image or object is widely acknowledged or accepted in another culture, explanation will be not necessary at all.